We are good to go, so we'll get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for May 8th, 2019. Q's down 0.25%, SPY just flat, down a little bit there. But I think what's more important is not so much what we where we closed at. It's more about the intraday pattern, which is, remember, going into yesterday, we got this gap down, the sell off, what we identified as the follow through on the sell off. And then I was saying if we retrace back up to the 20 MA and set up a sell setup being a series of higher highs and higher lows, or 3 or more green bars, and then we break underneath one of those higher lows. Okay, so we got a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, and a higher low, and then we broke. Okay, so this triggered the sell setup on the SPY here, right? And we said yesterday, if this happens, shortable opportunity. Okay, now just like anything else, there's no guarantee that this will go and retest the lows, which would be the expectation once it triggers the sell setup to go back to the lows. But I think what's critical about this is that we now have triggered the sell setup. And if we break above today's high, 289.40, we're probably going to be sideways for quite a while. That means we tried to go higher. We couldn't go higher. We tried to go lower. Here's our attempt to revisit those lows, potentially make new lows. And if this doesn't follow through, then the market's just going to be stuck sideways. That's my interpretation of what we're getting. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to remain bearish for now. Okay. So that hasn't happened yet. I'm preparing you for the scenario that if this sell setup does not follow through and we break back above today's high, then we will be probably sideways in the days to come, maybe even weeks. But for now, going into tomorrow, based on what we got, I'm looking for a retest of the lows. Okay, if that doesn't happen, right, and you now know what to expect. But going into tomorrow, just to make it clear, am going to have a short-term bearish bias on the Qs and SPY. Okay, so going into tomorrow, bearish bias. All right, we got the sell setup triggered. Okay, the signal to as a shortable opportunity here. Okay, triggered here right at the end of the day. I'm glad we got this. Now, you might kind of wonder why, if we got this bear signal, why am I talking about what if we break back above? And that's because the larger time frames, the daily, right, has been in an uptrend, weekly, still in an uptrend, monthly, still in an uptrend, right? So the larger time frames are going to be working against this recent downtrend, okay? So the smaller time frames, lower, and then larger time frames are really still bullish, can shift to neutral now that we're starting to break on the hourly. But I'm glad we got this trigger today. I think it'll make it very clear tomorrow what to look for, right? So we have a clear line in the sand. Over today's high, we're going to lose the bearish bias. If we stay below today's high, then we're sticking with the bearish bias. Okay, so we are bearish going into tomorrow, but you know what it will take in order for us to change that bias. Okay, now as far as what we were looking for today, I did say let's focus on the longs and the things that are gapping up to be played long. Okay, and that's what worked today. If you played the AVLR with Sammy, right? They did the AVLR not in the morning, but after it pulled back, tried to shake out and then did a breakout and then closing up here near the highs, right? So that was gapping up, not really over a red bar like you might have expected given yesterday, but clearing the base. Very, very bullish on the AVLR, bullish across all time frames there on the AVLR. So really nice play, good management to stick with half of it until the end. And then the only call for me today was this LC, okay, which did fit the description of what I was looking for coming into today, which was a gap over a red bar. Clearing resistance as well. You can see yesterday's bar. Clearing resistance, looking for higher. I like the daily. Thought the daily was okay. Weekly, I also liked putting in a higher low here, trying to follow through and transition out of a downtrend, okay, on the LC. And also what I liked is this shakeout that the LC put in on the 2 minute. was basing sideways and then did a little bit of a shakeout here. See, this was kind of going sideways, and then big volume came in, shakeout there. That should not get broken. So that was our stop, and our entry was over this, over 62. Okay, and we were looking for new highs. Okay, so we got a retest here, had to wait for it, and then finally we got new highs here. We're able to take some, held the rest to see what we could get, and it was looking pretty good through most of the day, right? We were in it, and then we got this breakout. The breakout ended up being the end, and so we ended up trailing it right underneath 69. So not a big play, but I knew what I wanted to look for today, and what I wanted to focus on, right, was this LC. And focusing on the gap ups, and that's where there were some nice moves, at least the official calls. The MYGN was nice, was a little bit too spready and tough to manage, but this one, you can see the shock value of this moving up and then getting broken. You can ignore those. Breaking the support there. So that was one of the bigger moves down. So it wasn't that there weren't shorts to be played, but at least what I wanted to focus on. I know the MTCH was also pretty good. You can see here, right? What did we get yesterday? Red bar, because the market sold off, and then clearing resistance here and pretty good follow through. This one I didn't happen to catch, but it did fit what we were looking for. So the bias was correct, just needed to find an entry. I wasn't able to find one. But yeah, these were both official calls, the AVLR and the LC, both long. That's kind of what we were looking for, given that the market was weak. And then the market today, kind of just inside day. So after a day of trending upwards and then a day of trending downwards, looks like the market needed a bit of a breather today. So, but what that did give us is the hourly sell setup. So that'll set us up for tomorrow to have a bearish bias. Okay. All right, so hope you did well today. I thought there was a lot, especially at the open. So you need to be ready to go right as that opening bell hits, know what your favorites are, and know what patterns you're looking for entries in order to take advantage. Okay, so we'll see what we get tomorrow. Okay, it's been weeks, over a month, I think, since we've been able to initiate a bearish bias on the Qs in the short term. I haven't really been able to, we're not anywhere set up for a long-term bearish bias on the Qs and SPY, but at least for the next days, hours and days, based on this hourly sell setup, we are looking lower. Okay, so we'll see what the market brings us tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a great evening.